All right, the Mariners finish up the Texas series with let's just call it what it is, a flush and move on. But the big news is the Mariners 8 series in a row. That's right, 8 series in a row. They have won. They have taken 8 in a row. Like, I'm so excited. I had to say it 3 times as I look at my notes here. Also, the 4th series win in a row on the road, which is huge because the Mariners, going back to last year, very tough time on the road. So that's very encouraging. Matt Brash returns. That's great. We've also gotten the news that Kirby and Logan could possibly join the team here by the end of the month. In fact, Kirby made a start today, just right now before we recorded. We're going to talk a little bit about that, a little bit of concern about what happened to Randy Arozarena. We'll see if we got any news on that. We're going to be talking about all this stuff and more right here on the Rye Bread and Mustard, a Mariners podcast. That Down on the Docks, on the other side of the tracks, 5-star dive bar, right after this. All right, I'm down here in Los Angeles and up in Edmonds. It looks beautiful up there in Edmonds. I'm down here in a cloudy, gray Los Angeles. You look like you're up there in some really nice weather up there, Hanno.
Yeah, it is. It's a great day out here. We got to bang through this quickly so we can enjoy it.
Yeah, great. You sound... I love that. This is the first time we've ever seen anything but the dark curtain behind you. But you do look like you're in like witness protection. The shadows on you, I really like it. Like your voice should be like,
yes, the game was very good.
Tell someone who cares.
Oh, yes. We're telling lots of people right here. They all care about you, Hanno. Don't let anybody else tell you any difference. All right, the Mariners, 8 series win in a row. I've said it 5 times already right here to start this thing off, including the intro. How about that? Let's start really positive.
There's nothing really negative to talk about. Mariners have been playing good. Enjoy it. It's sunny out. Mariners lost a tough one today, but I don't got too much negative stuff to talk about. What about you?
No, I don't. I just said, like I said, today's game was a bit of a flusher. Not really worried about it. We got a starter out there that's just, filling in right now. Mariners didn't really get many breaks in this game as well. It felt like Texas played really good defense. Like some of those balls that dropped in on the Mariners didn't drop in on Texas. But you go and you look even at a loss right here, where you're like, damn, we only scored 1 run. Only 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, and they really didn't create any breaks for themselves either. I mean, at first inning when they knocked the runner in, they couldn't keep the inning going, and they didn't come through with the bases loaded, something they've been doing. So that's the way it is, in baseball. Sometimes you bring the runners in, sometimes you don't. The Mariners have been bringing the runners in a lot more than they haven't lately. And then next inning, like you mentioned, Evans couldn't shut them down, had some hits, and they blew it right open, and that was your ball game.
Yeah, and look, Texas has been struggling with the bats the entire year. I think Colorado and maybe, I don't know, Chicago or I mean they're down there. I mean, yesterday we were kind of looking at the run differentials and they were way down there. And you got to feel for Jock Peterson. I mean, he's getting paid, so I don't feel that bad about him. But, he gets robbed there in the first game. He gets robbed here today. And then did you see when he missed that home run by like a couple of feet as well?
Yeah, didn't feel bad for him one bit.
You are very salty today. I don't know what's
going on. Not salty at all. I don't care about the Rangers.
All right, moving on, Hanno. Let's get into the positive stuff. Let's go back to Friday night's game. let's talk about probably the most enjoyable game of the week. We talked about it privately yesterday. Friday night, that is the Cal Raleigh bonanza. 5 RBIs, 2 home runs. Just seems kind of like normal. We used to get so excited when he hits a couple of home runs in a game. Not to say we're not excited, but it's like, that's just typical of Cal every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I even felt like, to me, once he hit that first home run, it's like, wow, it feels like it's been a while since Cal's hitting a home run, and then he ends up hitting 2. But my takeaway from that game is Mariner fans this whole year and forever have always looked for the offense and the pitching staff to come together, and that was the game that it happened. You know, the M's blow it wide open, and Wu was incredible. Only gave up 1 hit, and that's what you asked for, and it was just a great baseball game.
Yeah, Wu, 6 1/3, 4th wins, got 4 wins already in a month in baseball. I know some people don't go, wins and losses or whatever. Well, they matter. I think that's the most important things. Runs and wins. Those are the things that I look at. And even in that game where, you put up 13, the bullpen, we talked about it. We have been talking about it. They've been looking for their identity outside of Andres Munoz. Sure, you get Matt Brash back. We'll talk about that in a second. But the Mariners had an opportunity, and I know that, and to get somebody in there. We talk about him, Thornton. He's had a rough go of it, love late. You get on social media, you get everybody freaking out about it. Dan Wilson found a perfect spot for him to come in. Has him come in, finish out the inning when they take out Wu, brings him back in, in mop-up situation, but also the guy doesn't give up anything. He was perfect through that. That's definitely got to be a confidence booster for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's, like you mentioned, why Dan put him in. He's been struggling. It seems like every time out, the ball's flying over the fence, so it's nice to not see that happen. Just a nice, easy, soft landing for him to get back on the bump, get his confidence, and he threw well.
Yeah, and then they brought in Troy Taylor. It seems like he just I know he was, did he have a dead arm or something like that in spring training? Just hasn't looked all that great, but they eventually move him down to bring up Matt Brash, which I think is the correct move. If there was somebody from the bullpen I'm sending down, it's Taylor. I think Thornton can work his stuff out up here in the major leagues.
Yeah, I mean, compared to last year with Taylor making his major league debut, it's been night and day. He definitely has not been on his game and hitting his spots like we saw all of last year towards the end of the season. Since he's come back from this injury, he just hasn't looked as dominant. He's not hitting his high fastball, or he's not hitting the high part of the zone where his fastball and his sweepers sometimes just loops right into the hitting zone, and it's gotten taken out. So, it's expected. He's a young pitcher, and he's just got to get back in the zone again, which works for him, which we saw what he did last year.
Yeah, and I think he's somebody you're definitely going to see this year, and I think the Mariners are going to need him. He was very impressive last year in September and pitched already in very high-pressure situations. And so that's what my hope for him is, that he gets all of that put back together, because that he has that ice coldness in his veins to go out there in these pressure situations.
Yeah, kind of. Last year when he was in those high pressure situations, he did very well. He's just got to get going again. Otherwise, the Mariners have shown that they don't have, I don't know if it's not they have patience, but he's a quick hook to go back to the minors for them. Maybe it's because he has options or what, to figure stuff out. They're not looking for him to figure stuff out right now with a club that's in first place playing well and that needs arms.
Yeah. The expectations are high now. You've come out, what, you're now 20 and 13, 2 games up in the division. You've pushed through all these injuries right now. Let's just go back to the last time they lost a series, which was a long time ago. I just saw a meme of talking about when the Mariners lost their last series, which was a pretty dark series to lose. I mean, that was that San Francisco series, and you lose Victor Robles. And but since then, like we said, eight in a row. And this team, it just seems as they keep getting injured, keep getting better and better. Unfortunately, today, I know we're jumping around. We saw Randy Arozarena come out of the game. Let's just hope that's all right. It seemed like on the broadcast that was precautionary, possibly. I mean, that's about all we know, right, at this point.
Yeah, Dan said it's nothing on the post-game show. To me, I thought it was Randy just being. I did notice him grab his hamstring as he went back. But he's probably just being Randy and being a vet and being like, hey, we're not going to win this game. I don't want to ask out of the game, but take me out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. He bent over looking up at the scoreboard and was like, that's it. This was a fun meme that I found that they said the last time the Mariners lost a series, the Florida Gators. First of all, I want to give credit. Oh, God, this is the Mariners. Never mind. I'll just pull up a couple of them. I thought it was from I thought it was from an independent source. The last time the Mariners lost the series, Katy Perry hadn't been to space. I didn't know. I don't watch this show, but I know it's a big thing. We didn't know who died in season 3 of The White Lotus. The Florida Gators only had 2 men's basketball championships. Rory McIlroy had not completed his career Grand Slam. No one had asked Bill Belichick where he met Jordan Hudson, his young girlfriend, yet. And of course, my favorite, Cody Rhodes was still the WWE champion. It's been great. So a month since we've lost the series. But the road winning is something that I want to focus on here for a second before we move on to the other games. The road winning last year was one of those things that really you could point at, as well as losing to the Angels, of why you weren't in the playoffs. So, 4 series wins in a row. And you're not doing these series wins here on the West Coast either. We've seen them go out east. Now they go down to Texas and do this. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different club than what we've seen in the past. I mean, the way the Mariners started off the season, it was like, uh-oh, here we go again. Maybe that magic that Dan had at the end of last year was just kind of a fluke. But, man, they've turned everything around. They're hitting the ball. Even the players saying it's noticeable. They're not just playing, or they're playing for their teammates and not just for themselves. And you can tell, the way they go out and do the fundamental thing, get the runner over just to get a guy in the scoring position. It's really nice to see kind of the baseball that we haven't seen out of this Mariner club in a long time.
Yeah, and let's just talk a little bit more about game 1, then we'll move on. Ben Williamson, we got to talk about that catch. It's our thumbnail. What a fucking awesome catch. We just heard, I heard that he just ran after that ball, had no idea he was even going to get it. It was one of those ones that just hustle, ball finds glove, squeezes it, comes down with it. I mean, he looked like a wide receiver going out there. And I even heard, I will give Angie some credit, and Jay Buhner agreed, maybe a first step that maybe an outfielder might have been jealous of on that ball.
That's good. Yeah, really tough catch. We've seen shortstops make those type of plays, but they have kind of an angle to go to. He had to turn around and run straight back and somehow find that ball. Yeah, it was incredible. I haven't seen a third baseman make a play like that, I don't think, ever, that I can remember of.
No, at all. I saw it after the fact. How I found out about it was I just saw on Twitter, just kept on being like, "Whoa, Ben Williamson, seen the play," and I've watched it maybe 20 times over the last couple of days, just randomly seeing it and looking at it myself. In that game, also the contagious hitting. You've seen Julio get some good bat on the ball here. He hits a home run in this game as well, like later on in the game. Polanco continue to do his thing. You also could keep Polanco a bit healthy here in the series if you're worried about his health. I know there was a lefty in game 2. You get him out of the game here early in game 1. I know that's a key. Randy Arozarena, continues to get on base. We've also seen Rowdy Tellez get into game 2, but he's starting to look a bit more comfortable up there at the plate.
Yeah, I agree with all what you've said. I mean, when's the last time that the Mariners scored a couple touchdowns in a week and beat two teams, just boat raced them? So with beating Florida 14-0 and then putting 13 up on the Rangers, it was a fun game to watch, like you said, and then with the pitching to go along with it. Wu looking so dominant, having to sit a long time between innings because the M's were just, running the bases. Really a nice game altogether.
Yeah, and I was also going to say maybe the best part of this first game or this series was we're getting Jay Buhner up in the booth too. I fucking loved hearing him this series. Any of your favorite Jay Buhner moments over the weekend, or give me one?
Yeah, definitely a couple. I mean, he's been in the broadcast booth before a few years ago, but he had some good ones. Spit on the ball. He buggy whipped that ball out of there. He molly whipped that, or Mary whipped that ball out of there. Just some good old Jay Buhner sayings from probably his days when he was in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his story today. I guess the glass half full side of getting whooped like this in a game is you as a programming as far as the programming and the production, then you start getting all the stories. I didn't know about him. I can't remember when he had to get Tommy John surgery on his elbow. I didn't know about that. But just his experience of like what that feels like was interesting. But I'd say pound for pound, my favorite moment, or just his delivery, his timing and his delivery is just so good. Angie, who, we love her. Sometimes she can talk a lot and just spit out stuff, just boom, boom, boom. And they were talking about JP's infield single, and they were like, what? So what was that? I don't know, probably only 40, 50 miles an hour off the bat. And there's a beat, and Jay Buhner goes, so what? I just love it. Just go ahead.
Yeah, just to total ball players' point of view, I mean, anybody that's played does not give a rat's ass how hard they hit it. They just want them to get a single or get on base, feel like they contributed. So it's not how it looks, obviously, to any of the Mariners or anybody that's played the game. So that's what I got out of it. He was like, who cares? And especially with all the numbers and statistics that are brought out now and dissected, he was just like, who cares? It's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's wins and losses. That's what you really got to worry about. Yeah. So, I mean, game 1, I mean, just to start off a road trip, very huge. I mean, the Mariners kind of were doing this thing. And I think this is the first road victory game 1, if I can remember correctly. I think they lost because they had a string of just where they were losing the first game in every series. So that was great, and then you go into game 2, we get into game 2 here and a complete opposite game. It was a 1-1 game for most of the game there. You get into the 8th inning. You hadn't seen Polanco. You hadn't seen much of the lefties because it seemed like they threw out a bunch of lefties. And I'm sure Bruce Bochy he knows that Jorge Polanco's, besides Aaron Judge, is the next hottest hitter in the American League. Did a good job of keeping him away. You kind of got to play that cat and mouse game, right? with the 3 batters that a pitcher's got to face. There really wasn't an opportunity there for Jorge Polanco to come in if you didn't want to go left and left. They get the matchup that they want there in the 9th inning. Gets that hustle double. Sure, maybe Garcia should have caught that ball, but he hit the ball very hard. It was one of those in-between line drives, which, as you know, playing outfield, hardest ball to get is the one hit right at you. But Polanco coming off the bench and coming out of the box like that, how jacked up did you get about that?
Yeah, it was huge. Jay Buhner, we talked about him earlier. He mentioned too how quick out of the box that Polanco got. I mean, you're right. That ball should have been caught easily, but sometimes outfielders, if it hits the heel or the palm of their glove, they're not able to squeeze it in time, and that's exactly what happened there. And yeah, Polanco got that inning going. We talk sometimes about or earlier about how the Mariners didn't capitalize on any breaks. They sure did in that inning, and then end up getting that next batter in Williamson has an incredible at bat, fights and pitches off, gets one in on his hands, and he somehow fists it to the right side to move him over, and and that's what we talk about when we're saying guys playing for their teammates and something, and so it was a good start, and then yeah, Rowdy came in and lined a single up the middle, and the Mariners got just enough to win that game.
What I do have to mention this. Also, Grandma Norma, 94-year-old Grandma Norma. Her pick to click yesterday was Rowdy Tellez. She obviously didn't see the lineup; he wasn't in it. Comes up with the huge hit, like you said right there. So those are the kinds of things that just really get you excited. And let's talk about JP Crawford leading off the game, 13th home run as a leadoff hitter. JP, right now, are you keeping him at the leadoff spot now until Victor Robles comes back, or God forbid, there's one of those classic JP slumps?
I don't see any reason to move him out of it. I mean, what did they say on the broadcast today? God, what was it? Some pretty impressive stat by him, probably games. Oh, maybe he tied his hitting streak in 12 straight games. I think that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no reason to take him out of it.
And I'll give you another point of why you don't have to worry about that. Maybe, or give this. You look at the end of the lineup, Louis Rivas, living on base, Leo Rivas. You got somebody down there at the end of the lineup that you're like, hey, they're probably going to get on base. And there's nobody down there, even when Master Boney gets a spot start, or Williamson, who else hits down there quite a bit? Who's the other guy? I mean, Samad Taylor, sure, he really hasn't shown us that he can get on base a lot, but you could see what kind of havoc he can do if he's on. You kind of have a game plan down there at the end of the lineup to give you that confidence to put JP up at the top of the lineup as well right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what the bottom three are doing for the Mariners. Goldie said it's the second most productive bottom three, I think, in Major League Baseball, which is another incredible stat. You look on paper at who they're throwing out there every day, and you're like, well, that's another inning down, but they continue to produce and put the ball in play and make it easy for the guys up at the top then to drive them in. So that's been a huge factor for the Mariners this season.
Yeah, and let's talk about this too. Sorry, I was about to talk a little bit more about the offense, but let's shift here. Let's give some more credit to the bullpen in this game. No earned runs in this game. We see the return of Matt Brash. I love seeing that shot of him coming in the dugout and everybody giving him high fives. But you get to have a 7, 8, 9 with Brash, Spire, Munoz coming off of Castillo, who we'll talk about here in a second. But we all know that this is huge for Matt Brash to be back. What did you see? What did you like?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting too much from him. I didn't really know what to expect, but yeah, he wasn't throwing as hard as I remember, but that makes all the sense in the world. He looked good. He's gave up a base hit, struck a guy out, and got the runner to ground into a double play. So he did what he needed to do. I mean, we talked about Thornton earlier, soft landing. And this was a nice, really soft landing for Brash in a way, but also it was a tie game. So,
Yeah.
But it was in the 7th inning. So, I consider Brash more of a bridge to Munoz, but he'll get there eventually. But he did really well, and it was a good confidence boost for him. He'll continue to grow, get stronger, and become the Brash that we remember, the guy that dominates and makes people look silly with his wipeout slider.
Yeah, and Spire looked great too yesterday, and it felt familiar, right? Just having that 7, 8, 9 that it just, again, we keep talking about, man, the middle relief, the setup. We've had no identity. It hasn't been terrible. They haven't blown games, but they have made things interesting this year. And, Munoz, you can't, it's fun to cut and paste and rinse and repeat. But again, what's he now? 16 innings, scoreless, 12 for 12 on save opportunities. So, a couple more innings and you could be like, if we can do it, knock on wood, I'd love to see him to get to at least 18 to be like, hey, he's thrown 2 shutout games of baseball.
Yeah, he's a guy that when they call upon him, he's going to come through. You mentioned about some of the guys earlier, and Brash is that guy too. You count on when they come in the game, you figure he's going to put up zeros. There hasn't been too many Mariners in that late innings, high leverage situation where you can legitimately feel, oh, these guys are going to shut it down. So, but yeah, Munoz incredible. Not one run yet this year. Sometimes he looks a little, what's the word? Like he might give a little bump in the road in his outing, but he locks it right back down and gives the Mariners a save and wins the game for him.
Yeah, and a guy who also locks it back down, and I want to give him some credit because I've been talking about this all off season. And you hear people being like, we got to trade Castillo. We got to do this. We got to do that. You're like, this is a guy that goes out there, like we say, 30 starts every year. I think he's missed 1 start as a Mariner, and that was the end of last year. And then I think they just didn't start him in the last weekend because it was already over. But he goes out there, 1 run, gives you 6 and a third, or I believe, or 6 in. So he gives you 6 innings. Wu gave you 6 and a third. People want to talk, oh, the velo's here, the spin's here, this is here. It doesn't matter. This guy he's giving you a chance to win. Sure, he had a couple of bad starts, but he's 3-2, 3.2 ERAs. He's made all 7 of his starts. Sure, he's not getting the strikeouts like he once was. I think in this game he only got a couple of strikeouts, which is pretty low. But he's somebody when people do get on base, the only thing you are worried about is the home run. Most of the time you're not going to just see him give up 6, 7, 8 hits in a row. He doesn't seem to implode. What do you think about Luis Castillo and how he's kind of surfaced after when he was kind of getting some heat there about 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, a nice, great start. I wouldn't say I was angry at him, but I was concerned he didn't look anything like we kind of are used to seeing. Sure, maybe he has regressed a little, and I can understand that, but it just seemed like he wasn't anywhere near what I thought he needed to be. And man, that's the way it goes. I've always thought he's a guy that's going to give up a solo shot or 2 maybe in a game, but keep you in it, with only giving up 2, maybe 3 runs. And, he went out and pitched great that game, and he looks to be turning the corner on how his season started to me.
Yeah, I'm going to take a 30-second break here because I got to address my allergies. We'll be right back.
Rye Bread and Mustard, a Mariners podcast.
We have the one and only Mr. Tom Hutler. Do you have any of your favorite stories from the Kingdom?
There was a time we had an earthquake, and so they were going to evacuate the building. So I was like getting up to go leave, and they go, "No, you can't go. You got to read these safety things." It's like,
do we need to tell them that there's smoking's only on the exterior ramps?
Yeah. And Dave came shooting past. He signed off. I'm going, wait, I'm the only one here.
Listen and subscribe to Rye Bread and Mustard, a Mariners podcast, wherever you get your podcast.
Get ready to play hardball in the Kingdom.
Take me to the ball game. I want to see the ends. The Mariners are playing hardball. Did it again and again and again. Did it again.
Princess Tours, the vacation company, brings you the best show in baseball when the San Diego Chicken plays hardball with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles tonight in the Kingdom.
All right, everything is better. As we wrap things up here, just want to talk about really quickly the Sacramento series, the A's. Playing some good baseball as well. They're only 2 games back. Should be a good series. We're going to be up there as far as we. It's going to be me and the Ninja up there. Have not decided where we are going to record on Wednesday, but I am looking forward to the series. Look, this is a big series right away. Last time the Mariners played the A's, didn't I believe we opened up the season with them. 2-game split. I mean, 4 games. They each split it 2 games each here. Mariners have been taking care of business though here in the AL West. What do you think about this series? What are you looking forward to?
Just looking for more of what we've seen. We got to get our good starting pitching. Pitchers have been going into the 6th inning here lately, which helps the bullpen. The bullpen is also going to help because we got guys back like Matt Brash to help bridge the game to Munoz. But just looking for that consistency from the up at the plate. Hopefully guys being able to hit guys in when they're in scoring position, something they've been very good at. And there will be plenty of long balls because that park gives them up, a small minor league park, and the ball jumps there. So sets up to be quite a nice little series for the Mariners. But like you said, the A's are playing good, and it could be a toss-up too. Just hope to win another series because that's all we want to do is win series, baby.
Yeah, and let's keep that damn Tyler. What's his name? Soderstorm. Tyler, whatever the hell his name is. He wore the Mariners out, and but yeah, there's just some players on that team that just like Oakland always is. This is infuriating players. I do like that Lawrence Butler. Brent Rooker. He's great. Luis Urias is still on that team, still on the MLB roster, playing a little second base, some other infield spots there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like when you're in Oakland, as much as I love that stadium, sure. After the game, it was definitely go back to the hotel and get whatever you need and get in there before dark and make sure the doors are locked. I mean, that area down there, I can only describe if you've seen, again, Back to the Future 2, when Biff takes over Hill Valley. That's what that downtown area of Oakland, where they just kind of just gave up on that area. When Denny's and In-N-Out and these places are pulling out of there, when there is a AM PM that closes at 10 p.m. because of the violence and the crime in the area, it's probably time to get out of there. So I have done a little bit of research, and if you are going down to those games, it seems like you just go over from the stadium, you walk across the bridge, and there's like the Old Town Sacramento, which is West Sacramento right down there. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that is as a baseball town. I have watched a lot of local television from the Bay Area and Sacramento area, and it definitely sounds like Sacramento is trying to go in for the steal. I don't really understand what's going on with the whole Vegas thing. I'm sure when we're up there, we're going to, hear quite a bit from it. And I'm interested to see how many people from, Oakland are traveling over to go see it. It's not like they got relocated like our Sonics did out to like Oklahoma, where you can't go to games.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't followed it too much, but I did hear, and this was early on in the season, about a month ago, when, Oakland opened up, Athletics opened up there in Sacramento, that first series. I had good crowds like you would expect, and then I thought I heard someone say that it then decreased a little bit. So I'm interested to hear what you see and what you find out, how well that they're following the team there with all the folks in Sacramento. So it'll be nice to see a different park for you. Have you ever seen that park before?
No, I have not. I believe it's the San Francisco Giants, a regular AAA affiliate, I believe. I have not been to that. I haven't been to a lot of the California minor league places. When I was going to school at Fresno State, I know that the Grizzlies were over there, but I've been to that. So I think I've only been to one. Is that L.A. or is that Seattle? That's there, or Edmonds.
No, it's
Okay.
Edmonds is also known as Deadman's, so that probably is an ambulance.
Oh,
There's a lot of old
Deadman's, huh?
folks that live here.
Oh, okay, got you.
It's an ambulance. Another golf cart for sale.
You people down in the Arizona area at spring training, if you're looking for an extra cart, maybe at a good deal, there's probably, as according to Hanson, there's an estate sale just right around the corner. Speaking of Vegas, though, when I was out there, I did have to mention this. When I was out there for WrestleMania, I did kind of look over where the Tropicana was at because I was staying down there at Excalibur and Luxor down on the MGM. And I didn't really notice anything, but I heard that there's some sort of headway on the construction. But I want to look into that because this is, I mean, as far as the news story, like Sacramento city officials and everything, I mean, they're putting a game plan together to try to get Major League Baseball in Sacramento. So this is a thing. I'm definitely going to look into that. And one last thing before we go, or two quick things. One, George Kirby just made his start today out in Las Vegas for the Aces. 3 innings, scoreless innings. So that's good. I'm sure they're going to keep ramping him up, but good to see that he's getting that done. And we're getting the news that him is, if I'm reading everything and hearing everything correctly, him and Logan Gilbert, that is, can rejoin the team here at the end of the month, possibly.
Yeah, that would be amazing and just incredible news if Logan only had, a little soreness. And he's back in a month or so, or, it's not a major deal. The Mavs have been so freaking fortunate with pitching arms not going down and, having 2 guys go down the same year. That's not good. But then again, it's good to see that Kirby's on his way back and hopefully Logan's just a little bit behind him.
Absolutely. We were talking, one thing that we did have planned today, but we scrapped it. We were going to talk about the run differential. The Mariners are up, but Saturday morning we woke up and we were up 35 runs. So we were up 36 to start the day here, but this today kind of throws it off, but still really, really impressed with our run differential. It's still 24, 25 up. And you were guessing all of the things, and you were actually surprised yesterday when I had the numbers. Now, here's something that I want to see if you can guess. The last thing here. Strikeouts for the Mariners on this weekend. Can you tell me how many strikeouts the Mariners had as a team offensively?
Each game or total for the series?
If you want to go slow slam jam it, and yeah, let's just go for the whole series. Let's see if you can guess how many strikeouts they had.
I think they had 6 going into today, and I don't know how many strikeouts. I don't know if they doubled that up or not. I kind of was not remembering. I'll say they had 10.
Close. You're very close. 11 strikeouts on the weekend. I mean, that's amazing. If you
going to church helps. Praying for these boys.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's just go really quickly back to maybe the dark times of this season. Real quick, kind of little ultra chat here. What's this? Pray to the Triton? Is that what his name is there? Laughing my ass off. Ass hose lost on a rain delay. Well, that's good. Yeah, they're playing the Chicago White Sox. Chicago White Sox definitely helping out everybody in the AL West this weekend. But going back to the dark time of the season where Victor Robles got hurt, and then we won the next game, but then we had that game where the Mariners, I don't know, left 75 runners on base. I don't know what the number was. Don't quote me on that. But they had struck out 19 times, and we were just here we fucking go again. To jump ahead a month and go in a 3-game series with DeGrom on the mound, with Corbin, and I tell you, like, Corbin, 11 or 14 straight? And I give you all those factors. And I just give you the people that are on our team, the Mariners, right? Even the best ones strike out on our team a lot. And I said, in the 3-game series, they're only going to strike out 11 times. I mean, that was I think that 11 is maybe their average that they had just about every game last year.
Yeah,
Probably.
absolutely. I remember Goldie saying during this game that the Mariners are about middle of the pack and league average as far as strikeouts, but for a series, just incredible from what they did this series and from where they were of last year, even a little bit in the beginning of this year. And you mentioned, sure, maybe they might get a crooked number like that 19 if you're facing someone really good, but man, they've really turned it around. It's absolutely amazing.
And you had two other quick notes that we had yesterday. Real quick things. Sorry, I just pulled up our notes. Rylan Thomas, another
Yeah.
major league debut, looked pretty good. Looks really good defensively. I think I have no problem with him out there in the outfield. How about you?
Yeah, really happy for that young kid. It's been cool this year seeing a bunch of young guys getting their first taste of the show, getting their first hits. Yeah, defense is what jumped out at me. When was that? Saturday. He made that nice play along the wall in foul territory. That's not an easy play. Yeah, didn't know too much about him, but yeah.
Yeah, we got him from neither did I. I think we dug that up on the last show. Got him in that trade for Ryan Stanek last year from the Mets. And listen, the Mets have a history of giving up players that end up, taking off, that they're just very quick at moving people. So you never know. He's left-handed, so he's definitely, if he can, keep treading water, he's going to get the playing time right now because the Mariners don't have any other left-handed outfielders, do they? So, I mean, that's a plus for him when you're going to see a lot of right-handed hitters. So, I mean, the opportunity is there for him. I don't think this is going to be a situation where you get brought up and you're in a log jam. He's going to have the opportunities.
Yeah, and it's just nice to see guys just, stepping in and being able to help out the team. I mean, had that little bloop hit for his first hit, and then next at bat, I think, had an RBI, and I mentioned that catch. He's going to get some time out there, so same with Taylor, too. He's the speedster. I know we talked about him. Was it last episode or something? And like what we see out of him, too, defensively.
Yeah, and we don't need to talk about Leo Rivas, except for he is living on base. Leo Rivas. That was our other note of just really happy with him. And then the last thing, we just wanted to keep watching this because this kind of happened when we were recording last episode. But this is the update on the Pirates fan that fell from
the
right field. If you didn't know about this, I mean, you can see it. You can go onto our Twitter. I know that we reposted it of anything that was coming in, including the footage of the actual fall. Just wanted to bring up that the update on that is, if you didn't know, his name is Caven Markwood, 20-year-old, who he's the guy who fell. He's a former college football player, Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh native, big Pirates fan. They do have a GoFundMe page. And if you just look up, because most of our viewers are actual listeners, there is a GoFundMe page. You can go to Caven Markwood. Very strange because you and I were reading into this yesterday that there's obviously investigation going on, and he's only 20 years old, but people are saying that maybe he was drinking at the game, or, there's all kinds of accounts of what was going on at the game. But they also say he wasn't obviously over intoxicated. It is very strange because when you watch that video, it almost just looks like he's coming out of an ejector seat. I mean, I don't understand how that happened unless he just really jumped up with just a lot of force on that Andrew McCutchen RBI double there.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. I agree with you. It's like he was ejected out of like an F-15 or something. It's weird. And then all of a sudden looks like he's taking a swan dive into the field. Just an awful situation. I haven't heard any details other than what he's in serious condition. So I'm hoping the young man pulls through.
Yeah, and again, I just want to be clear. People had said that they had purchased alcohol there at the game. I mean, they got videos and shit everywhere in these stadiums. So if you're going to do anything, they're going to find out. But also, the Pirates said that he showed no signs of intoxication at the time of the fall. I've come up with like three. I mean, my scenarios have changed the more and more I've watched it. Where at first I didn't know if somebody was just he was like getting up on the railing or doing something and slipped and then fell, or is it just one of these things where the guardrails are too low? There are stadiums like you have not been to Dodger Stadium, but we're going to go there in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to take you up to that top deck, and you can tell me or not if that is safe up there. I think I told you the story about when I sat row A in the top deck with this cast. We had like a cast party, and we went there, and I had taken a couple of small edibles, and I literally had to get down into a crouch because I just felt like, whoa, like I felt like it only goes up to your thighs. Yeah, hopefully this guy pulls through. We'll keep on watching the story, but there is a GoFundMe. So if you feel like you would like to help out this guy with, obviously going to have a lot of long road of medical bills and recovery. So anyways, that's our episode. We'll be back Wednesday, probably from the Sacramento area. And then we'll be breaking that down, hopefully getting number 9 headed back home. And before we got the week that we've talked about, Blue Jays, Yankees, Padres. Now you can add A's to this because of the way they're playing. So this is a big, nice little dozen games here that we're ready to see what happens here. And again, I think maybe if you can get through these next dozen games around 500, or give or take one way, you're doing fine. And by that time, you're probably going to have Logan and George back. So
just keep winning series, baby.
Yeah. And again, thank you for liking, subscribing, and all that good shit. And listen, if you want that street cred for rocking the rye bread, I thought I have my rye bread shirt on. I don't. I got my company, Obi City Entertainment shirt on right now. Hit up at simply.coro. That's at simply.coro. We got bucket hats, T-shirts, barbecue aprons, koozies, anything like that. Hit us up or hit us up in the DMs. Also, head on over to intheclutch.com if you're looking for any other sort of professional sports licensing. They got you covered. You've seen those hot dogs for heaven shirts. That's where they're from. Intheclutch.com. Use that promo code rye bread and mustard, all one word. And if that's it. That's all the house cleaning. We're done. We're happy. We're going to enjoy the rest of our Sunday. If you're getting us on Monday morning, thanks for checking in and catching up. With that being said, Hanno, you know what time it is. Cha. Cha. Hit the fucking microphone with the bat.